have a confession to make. When I first received the TEDx call for speakers email, I thought to myself, this is great. I can't believe this is actually happening here on our LCSC campus. Delete. Now, I could spend the next 6 minutes giving you my list of justifications for nearly deleting that email, but the truth is, it was something I really wanted to do, and I knew that. In nearly passing it right by, I would have been denying something both my heart and my gut were telling me. And my reaction to this got me thinking about a presentation I did earlier this year for a group of student leaders. It was called Optimizing Opportunity, and it was a great experience. They were an amazing group of people. I was their keynote speaker. I got paid to do it. They even gave me a beautiful orchid as a thank you gift, which I promptly killed, but that's another story. And I began this presentation by sharing a quote about creating your own opportunities. And I remember telling them it was a concept they were never too young to grasp, right? Never too young to grasp. And looking back at it now, I have to laugh because this group, these 20-somethings, they were open to it. They were hungry for it. But what about us? What about now, in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 15 to 30 years into our careers? Why do we so often find ourselves settled, even complacent, not learning new things and not having new adventures? I mean, after all, at age 61, Gandhi led the Salt March. At 41, Dara Torres medaled in the Olympics. And Thomas Edison continued innovating and inventing well into his 60s, 70s, and beyond. But why do we think of them as the exception rather than the rule? What changes as we get older? Are we honest about the difference between being content versus complacent? Be content versus complacent. I think that bears thinking about just a little bit. More importantly, do we become closed off to recognizing, developing, and seizing opportunity? And what in the world can we do about it? Right? To begin with, we have to be tuned in enough to recognize opportunity. We have to be present in our own lives. I mean, we're pretty good at the basics, right? We position ourselves for the next logical promotion, and we do a little networking now and then, but we also kind of slip into robot mode. We get up every morning, we get into our cars, we drive the same route to work, we stop at the same coffee stand along the way, and so on. And when we're in this mode, we miss things. Not every opportunity looks like what we think it's going to look like. We might have to stretch to see the potential. We might have to work to connect those dots. But none of that's going to happen unless we really tune in. Next, we have to be creative enough to develop opportunity. Many of us have different creative talents, but it seems as we get older, we kind of put them on a shelf. Maybe we used to sing, paint, write poetry, and as the years go by, unless we're doing that for a living, we do less and less of it. The problem with that is then we're not feeding that creative line of thinking. And it's our creative thought that really allows us to flip something on its side and see its hidden potential. We also have to clear the way and make room for opportunity. In other words, what are we committing to now that's not working for us? It might in fact be detracting from our ability to excel in other areas. I'm going to say something now that might get me into a little bit of trouble, but I hate meetings, right? And I don't like sitting on committees. Now, that's not to say over the years I haven't been a part of some really strong, productive meetings and committees, but for the most part, it's just not my thing. So what I'm talking about is saying no. Saying no to those things that we're doing solely because we feel we should do them. Open up that space for someone else who's a better fit, and instead we're able to focus on those things that really energize us. So what can we say no to right now to make space for something even richer and more fulfilling in our careers and in our lives. So once we've managed to recognize and develop opportunity, now we have to be courageous enough to seize that opportunity. We have to be willing to ask ourselves the hard questions. What will happen if I fail? More often, the bigger question is, what will happen if I succeed? What change will that bring? Now, stepping out of our comfort zone and taking calculated risks and embracing change can be very scary, absolutely. But it can also be incredibly exciting. And that's where growth happens. So in really examining how it is that we can embrace opportunity at any age, place in our career, stage in life, I'm not talking about going skydiving or all of us quitting our jobs following some Jerry Maguire style epiphany, but I am talking about being honest with ourselves about what really matters, and doing that which will allow us to be open to recognizing, developing, and seizing opportunity, truly enabling us to be the best possible version of ourselves. Now, I don't have it all figured out, but I do know that we regret being controlled by fear, and that we rarely regret the things we do, but frequently regret those things we didn't do. And my final thought, it's not actually my thought, but really resonated with me, belongs to Erica Jong, who said, "And the trouble is, if you don't risk anything, you risk even more." Thank you.